Yo ho! What's going on, boys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you not a coalition of chapters like last time, but quite a situation, as it were. Now, the flashy and atomic debate that's subsided as of recently. I'd say about like the past 6 months, 7 months since the whole flashy encounter with platinum and Garou. It's done. We saw Atomic was out there clapping. We saw Flashy had a long ass break, got to relax and chill, catch his breath throughout the entirety of the arc, just to come to the surface and get clapped. So that debate and that fight's done to the side. We know Atomic is currently by far in the lead of that one. But it's time for a new community debate. It's time for something that may be a little bit more so in Satsuki's ring. Allow me to present.
It's not a ship. It's not a ship.
It's a ship.
Not a fucking ship.
It's a ship.
Not a ship.
Allow me to present Saitama and Tatsumaki versus Saitama and Fubuki. Whose cheeks deserve to be clapped? Of the two women, who deserves to caped? Who's gonna bear the child? The child of old dirty. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you today after reading 178, questioning whether Saitama shouldn't have them both. What if he had them both, babe? Like, it's a hard choice to be made. Now, the whole video won't be about this. The whole stream won't be about this. But I think it's important that we make our stand, leave our stamp on this particular topic. Listen, bro, Fubuki got them things on her, but like nobody has the angles that we get for Tatsumaki's cheeks, bro. Like she'll have her leg up a little bit, and we'll see them cheeks dangling out the back, just jiggling, bro. Like, how can you turn that down? I'm a Fubuki man, but them cheeks do it for me. Let's see what the boys think about 178 and the prospect of Fubuki, Tatsumaki, and Saitama. What's going on?
It had to be the top 5 worst intros you have ever done. I'm appalled, disgusted. I was I can't believe you did this. I knew you was gonna do it, but I didn't know you was gonna start off with it. I thought you were gonna ease into this a little bit, try to. I can't believe this shit.
Hey, Matt said we're done with that, bro. So, shit, we have to right into it now.
That's all I gotta say.
I'm gonna start off. You called him old dirty. I'm offended by that. So I tell him, which he takes baths regularly, mate. Come on.
Where did that come from? old dirty bastard.
Yeah.
What is the reference?
Yeah. When I say dirty, I mean like exceptional, as it were. And we do that here.
I don't know why you think you choose Tatsu and Fubuki.
Whoa.
I don't know if you remember both. Like the first thing Fubuki said to Saitama was like, "Cool, break his arm so he never works as a hero." And then Tatsumaki destroyed his house. He's not going to go with either of them. He doesn't like either of these people. They're acquaintances. Shut everyone down. Just their acquaintances.
Listen, bro. The tension that we saw throughout this chapter, bro. Like, I'm gonna let y'all go before we elaborate upon this because there's more to talk about. But I'm gonna let y'all go. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I had a feeling the triangle / shipping conversation would come up. Thanks for bringing it up so soon, I suppose. Yeah, I'll be honest. I couldn't give a rat's ass which one takes Saitama. If there is an element of romance, it's cool, but I don't really care so much because I think Saitama's already kind of set the tone, just like Matt has, which is these are my acquaintances. These are the people who have destroyed my house. And if I could, I would backhand both. It's probably what he's thinking right now. So yeah, I'd love to see what's gonna happen next between him and Tatsumaki, but in a more violent manner, another shipping manner. And you mute it.
I said, "Oh, you like it rough, huh, Sundown?" Okay.
Hey, it ain't like that.
Huh?
I knew my choice of wording was bad there, but
How did we all understand that except for you?
Hey, bro, I'm not the one who said it, bro. I'm not the one who said it. Man.
You're the one who fought it, though. We all knew where he was going with this, except for you.
Bro, look, bro. He said specifically, "I hope it gets a little rough between the two of them."
feel like something was misconstrued there.
So I think we've all gone, right? You already gave your 2
Yeah.
cents. Yeah. All right. So this chapter wasn't everything, bro. Like it was more so about establishing, I guess, the relationship between the three of them. I guess there's some deeper shit to get into here because of the reactions from the dialogue, but not necessarily. The plot didn't move that much forward. So I'm just gonna touch on some small points first before we hop into the big stuff. So I'm confused. How, if you guys remember, well, what's confusing me is A City and the headquarters. Now we were told that there's only one headquarters. There isn't a headquarters in Z City, but we found Black Sperm and Rover in the rubble within the vicinity of the headquarters. Like that's where Genos and Saitama were searching for things. So does that mean that like you can get to or see the headquarters from Z City? That's where Saitama lives. Wasn't he searching for stuff from his apartment? Like, is there some like time lapse or some panel that like alluded to them of having traveled very, very far in between like a panel or two? Like, am I missing something in terms of distance? Why? Because we see here in one of the panels where we got to see an exterior view of what Tatsumaki is really doing on a psychic level to Saitama. We get to see the destruction that occurred during Boros' invasion with all the craters in A City. But, like, are we supposed to be able to see Z City from here? You guys have any, like, input on that?
I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah, looking for maps of it. I mean, the thing is, like, if AC is entirely destroyed, it is just like barren land. I think there's like a panel I remember of like Saitama, Black Sperm, and Rover walking towards it. I have to assume there's a time lapse thing. We don't really know. Like I've always assumed like they're like that the cities are basically countryside, right? Because it's like a big continent. But maybe it's like a smaller one. I don't know. You bring up a good point. I don't think it's something to think too hard about. Is the honest answer. Just it's like they just traveled from one city to like he traveled from there to there. I mean, Z City did get kind of distorted a bit as well from when Tatsumaki like span it all around. Where she twisted up the Monster Association, so maybe it's something to do with that too.
Because there don't get me wrong, like there's instances where like in the beginning of the story, I remember specifically from the first season of the anime, where Saitama would show up. It was during the assault. This is why you guys should check out the Monsters Anomaly videos that we did. During the assault by the Sea Folk on J City, Saitama showed up there to pop that octopus that came up out of the ocean out of nowhere. So what was he doing in J City? Like, is there a train that can like commute amongst the cities pretty quickly? He was in his hero suit, so maybe he ran over there. But like, and I could see it because he was alone. But
so when he got to J City, there was a report on the news, and him and Genos ran over there. That's how they got there.
got you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I agree that it's probably not something to focus on too much. I'm just like curious because if we're gonna see some big boy destruction, how much are we gonna get? So let's touch on the big point now, since Guess what people are going to be talking about regardless.
That's right. The return of Tongue Swetcher. He's back. He's come from his defeated king. He's shown up for round 2. Might be an actual fight this time.
Well, I tell you what. I tell you what.
Gosh, he was so lame. I'm mad about that, bro. I'm so mad about that. Like,
why? Why? Because because he did get a fight.
Bro, F those characters, bro. Why do I care? What are they gonna like? Okay, Chain and Toad, fine. And I do like these moments, fine. But like,
I mean, you don't care about man-eating capybara. He's tiger level. Watch out, I'll get you.
Oh, that's what it was. I forgot. Okay. Off, bro. Off. I'm gonna read this dialogue here. There's something wrong with my voice. The damage was severe, and you were critical, so we surgically augmented it with mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
We're specialists in cyborg medical science.
Yeah, it's probably them.
The association... Whoa, it's probably who?
Well, if are we thinking the same people?
I'm not thinking of anybody. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking after you tell me what you're thinking.
Well, no, because that's the most like, bullshit. I don't know. You tell me what you're thinking, I'll tell you if I agree. It's like...
I was thinking Eon's about to get an arm sponsored by the association. What were you thinking?
Oh, okay. Well, we know the organization got ties, so I just assumed that, like, the organization... This is, like, maybe guys from the organization here.
Mm.
The organization? You mean, Drive Nights boys?
Yeah, G4, G5 people.
Oh, G4, G5. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, tell me. When has Drive Night said anything about the organization?
He hasn't. We just assume because of design. Because they all have that eye.
Got you. Ah, that's what it is. Okay. Forgot about that part. Okay. Cyborg. But cyborg is like human machine, right? Like, what's the exact definition of cyborg?
What you
Half
just said.
human, half robot, half human.
Because if that's like... So Google says, or Wikipedia says, a cyborg, a portmanteau?
Was that portmanteau? Yeah.
Portmanteau of cybernetic or organism. What the fuck is portmanteau?
Combo. Yeah. Combining, like, yeah.
I told y'all boys, we out here learning some good dialogue, man.
Wait, so you went to France for 4K and you ain't speak a word?
I said I didn't go to France for 4K. And
okay,
portmanteau? Oh, okay, that's French. Okay, that's why I'm like, the fuck? Okay. All right. Is a being with both organic and biocataronic? Bro, why can't I read today, bro? What are these made up terms, bro? Like, niggas is out here pretending, bro. Like, what the fuck?
You know what? How you read it in the first place? You know what a cyborg is. You got it.
Let's do a podcast about reading a chapter.
Hey, look, man. Grimm, you need to stick to the manga, to the picture books. I don't think your Wikipedia is saving you right now.
Biomechatronic? That's what it is. Biomechatronic. What the fuck, bro? I've never used that word before. Like, what the fuck?
Why would you use that word? Why would you use that word?
Like, who made that word?
She's alright. Let's make biomechatronic, but you know, I think I'll go for a different one.
That just sound like a Megazord low key. Oh shit! All right. So, okay, so you guys started. All right, that makes sense. But yeah. So no, Drive Night and G4 and G5 would not be considered in here. I don't think the organization is doing it, because if that's what cyborgs are, then nothing about Drive Night or G4 or G5 is human.
I mean, we can't make... Sorry, you go, sit down.
I was just going to say, Drive Night, we don't know if any of him is organic, right? We only assume he's fully machine, but he might have organic matter within him. I mean, G4 and G5, I don't think there's anything that suggests that they were organic in any way.
No.
I think Genos is the only cyborg.
Yeah, that we're like fully aware of. We know Genos at least has a brain.
Yeah.
Jet nice guy.
Jet nice guy?
Yeah.
He was a human at
Died.
first, wasn't he? And then he got turned into a cyborg?
I thought he died, and then it doesn't. It's not that important, but there's other cyborgs that are just not really that relevant.
Any chance Eon's getting an arm?
You are obsessed with him getting an arm, mate. Every other podcast I hear you bring up about him getting an arm.
I mean, I know he's stronger with one arm, but like,
I feel like he won't.
It will go against his pride, I think.
against his pride.
Yeah, he lost that arm fair and square in battle, but I don't think he's gonna replace it because it's something he'll remember as like, you know, this is a wound that I sustained in battle. It's a sign of pride, and you know, he still won, still made it out alive. He's not gonna replace it.
Plus, your boy Atomic said, "I won't let this loss of an arm make you lose your path as a swordsman." So, if he got an arm because he didn't believe in himself, then he wouldn't believe in his master. So, do you not want Eon to believe in Atomic?
That was some backward ass and bad reasoning, bro. Backward and bad.
It's fine. Pay Sundown's bow and it's fine.
Why do you want him to get this cyborg arm so bad?
Bro, like, you don't... That would be that thing, man. If we start getting unifications or upgrades of cyborg parts and components with like strong ass characters, because as of yet, and I know it's a future plot point, and I know we only got a little inkling of the character with his defense system, but we haven't necessarily dove into Bofoy as a character, and we also haven't dove into what Bofoy's doing with these components that he's recovered, at least from Boros. I was under the assumption that whenever there's a big battle with like a huge monster, that there's a cleanup, and that Bofoy may be affiliated with that cleanup, or maybe affiliated or responsible with gathering some of those components there. So if that's the case, then what are we to expect of like Boros? Like, Boros' ship was dropped there, was left there. We now see that more things are going on behind the scenes that we don't get to see on the foreground of the reality of One Punch Man. Like, we didn't know they were capturing monsters. When have we seen anybody capture a monster? Not a single hero on screen has ever captured a monster.
Drive Knight has captured a monster.
One S-Class, and that was a particular case, the first time we saw him. Not a single motherfucker out there has captured a monster. Saitama doesn't even think about it. It was to the point to where, and I pointed this out, nobody necessarily like acknowledged it. As far as I can tell, I don't see anybody doing videos about it, and you guys didn't talk about it. But all we do is kill monsters, and Garou stopped monstrification. You can save these monsters? So what does that mean? Are we just killing motherfuckers like for no reason? Like, it's almost to say that like, instead of it being a heinous thing that they're keeping these monsters imprisoned, this is an experiment to test if they can ever convert back. We don't know how these people turn into monsters. We don't know. This is just me throwing storylines together, but like, officially, before Garou stopped his monstrification, niggas were turning into monsters, and that was it. If you were a monster, you were going to get killed. Like, we kill monsters. That was an entire culture. And now we're talking about not only being friends with monsters in the case of Monaco, in the case of Rover now, like being polite and okay with monsters, but what's going on here? Like,
so you're thinking?
Do you think they would experiment on them to try to revert them back to humans, if that's possible?
There we go.
Because some are just natural monsters.
So we don't know which is which. We know that there are natural monsters that exist, and we know that monstrification exists outside of Orochi giving you a cell or whatever. According to what we just learned, anybody can turn into a monster. And according to what Dr. Genius told us back in like chapter like 89 or 91 or something like that, there are like 3 different paths that can turn you into monstrification, like mutation, emotional distress, and shit like that, and like extreme desires. So like, I don't know, bro. I don't think they're experimenting on them for sure. I think they're just shitty people. I think the association is just shitty. But I just want to point out that there's something clearly going on here that either I'm missing out, that's why it's not being emphasized on. Either niggas are not looking at it, and that one's gonna catch on niggas, or he's still building it. But the entirety of the story has been about killing monsters, and as of recent, we've been making friends with monsters, and now we're saving monsters. So what's going on? What's going on?
Oh, you say saving monsters, and I can't say the N word, but have you ever considered the making monsters? Cause what's the biggest thing one of the biggest things a business needs to do. So we have the Hero Association. They're a business. They've got stakeholders. How do they stay in business?
With monsters, you think they're creating their own problem?
Yes, sir. I think they're looking how they could create more monsters. So now they know, oh crap, humans can turn into monsters. They know there's natural monsters. They know there's monsterification, all that good stuff. So for them, it makes sense to say, all right, how do we create more and more powerful monsters? How do we get to a point where we can create, like, I don't know, dragon level monsters, maybe below that as well, and kind of keep our business sustained? I mean, that's not what I would do, but that's kind of what I would think.
Makes sense, mate. Yeah, I mean, like, something just to jump on, just top of my head, is one problem we have with literally the first time the S-Class heroes are supposed to meet up is with the Meteor. Only Bang and Geno show up, so really they can't rely on the S-Class heroes. Maybe it's just because like One Piece somehow went a bit too, but like, is it like not only if they can create monsters, but if they can actually create like heroes they can control as well? Because they just want people there to, if they can create monsters that powerful and control them, they're basically heroes that they need to. So it could be something along those lines as well.
But we're talking about the thing that's making me disconnect with what Sundown is saying is that Sitch doesn't seem to be of that mindset. There's no like, and there could be a separation there, a disconnect between even Sitch and the executives. That could definitely be the case, and I would honestly expect what you're saying to be revealed later on in the storyline. But as of right now, we're kind of talking about the lack of heroes. We're kind of talking about that the number of threats that have been occurring is increasing greatly, that we can't handle it. Remember when Garou's first appearance was Sitch himself trying to recruit villains to help them because of the onset of monsters that have been growing. So it's not as if, like, to me, it's not like the demand isn't there. Like, there are plenty monsters to kill. And it seems that the rate or the quantity of monsters is growing without us needing to influence. So that's where I would disagree with that perception. As of right now, because of what Sitch's position in the story is, I don't think that there's a lack of monsters or a lack of threat. I actually think it's the opposite. That not only are the threats becoming more prevalent, but stronger. At the same time, why are there monsters in a prison? That's still the question.
Well, profit is genuinely it. I mean, there could be other things, but there's a side chapter where basically Saitama joins a group of heroes because the monsters come loose from the Hero Association. And at first you think it's like for research to help out, but then it's eventually revealed that like the monster that they were keeping, an executive was keeping because the scales were worth a lot of money that this monster was producing. So he was selling them for extra profit. So it can be that it is due to, helping, like, it could be like, there's probably people like in the Hero Association because it's an organization where there's people who genuinely want to join and help out to stop monsters, but there's also people there who want to make a profit, make money. It's a bit of both. It's just about, I guess, who's in power at that point in time.
Yep. And usually whenever there's things like this going on, there's always like a black market aspect as well. So it might not be that the Hero Association is going to make more monsters, but they might sell them on to organizations such as the one that our boy, the mask guy, what were we calling him? I've forgotten his name already.
Tsukuyomi.
The mask guy. Sorry?
Tsukuyomi.
Yeah, Tsukuyomi. Yeah, the Tsukuyomi guy. They might be selling them on to them. And we've seen actually in Tatsumaki's flashback, where we saw Blast getting the cube, we saw that there were monsters there. We don't know whether they were created on the premises or whether they were sold to them, whether they bought them. Could be a whole bunch of different labs and organizations like that who are just buying these monsters off the black market.
I definitely agree it's profit based, but what they're doing, that's the question. Like, what are people doing? Yeah, that's the question. I mean, we see one example of it, yeah. So they could. So your theory is that together at least could be creating monsters or heroes. What's up, Kishin?
Yo.
How you
Good,
feel
Keisha.
about 178, bro?
Maybe it was a little anticlimactic. I was hoping to see more, action between our two main characters at this moment, but wasn't horrible. A good setup chapter. Comedic moments with Saitama, always fun. The Fubuki moment of like, she's just my associate, and it's like, she's just dead inside. You gotta love that. But yeah, it was just a solid setup chapter in my opinion.
If you had a choice, Kishin, Tatsumaki or Fubuki. Now, this choice is for the next 35 years of your life. My boy, you already know what's up.
I ain't dealing with Tatsumaki, goddamn.
All right.
We can always make Fubuki stronger to make her, more of a threat and whatnot. But she's definitely got the body. Don't want to have to deal with short lady. Especially when she could destroy continents.
I mean, you see what she did with that little with the bass, right? Like the whole twisty.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna stop you there. I'm gonna stop. No. No.
Oh Lord.
No.
It has begun, or it already had begun. Who knows?
And from a distance, bro, imagine, bro.
I've heard him say the same thing before. I remember him talking about this.
Yeah, we talked about this, bro. Imagine, bro, you're out there sitting there.
No, we don't talk about it. You talk about it a lot.
You're the reason you get demonetized, so don't talk to us.
We've talked about this. Listen, bro. Imagine you sitting there, bro. You just chilling, right? You just got off of work. It's like 5 p.m. in the afternoon. You sitting there drinking your beer, doing whatever you do right after you get off work, relaxing, right?
I'm driving home at 5 p.m.
You start to feel a little horny, bitch. Just a little horny. Just a wee bit of horny, bitch. So you know what you do? You grab your phone and you text something dirty to your girl Tatsumaki. You know what she does, bro? She snickers, smiles, and then starts to beat your meat from the office, bro. She's sitting there in the office doing paperwork while she's beating your meat, and you're 60 miles away, bro. Imagine that, bro. Imagine getting a psychic hand job while she's 60 miles away at work.
Save us, Saitama. Save us.
Like
This is the nonsense you have to save us from.
like Fubuki.
Damn, if only his little hand. It's like,
got it on her, bro. But like, imagine that, bro. Imagine that. Like, oh.
Wait. How did we get to this part of the chapter?
Yeah, this wasn't in the chapter.
I don't remember.
I don't remember us.
It's never in the chapter.
Like, I think changing subject real quick. I think let's talk about which one do we want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about why Fubuki reacted in the way she did when Saitama said acquaintance?
I want to talk about that because let's deter this away from the ship thing.
Away from the ship. We're going towards the ship thing. You think this is okay? Elaborate, because I think that's the biggest part of this ship.
We're going full iceberg.
I want to give a shout out to my boy Annie Furds on Twitter because he pointed this out. I forgot what chapter this was. I think it might have been the hot pot chapter, I believe. But it's the chapter where Fubuki looks on at Saitama and she thinks to herself, I can, be a part of his group and whatnot. The reason why she was so taken aback about being called an acquaintance is because she links her friendship to Saitama, or what she perceives as her friendship to Saitama, to her own strength. So her just being called an acquaintance and being kind of outcasted in the group that she sees Saitama in with King, Bang, Bomb, Genos, all these people, she takes that as I'm not good enough or I'm not strong enough to be a part of Saitama's group. That's the reason why she reacted like that. It's not because of her having some crush on Saitama or anything like that.
We could pretend as that. We could pretend that she was out there talking about some. Oh, the new Fubuki group. No, fuck out of here, bro. It may have an element of that. That may even be the principal message that one was trying to get across. But do you know what really happened, bitch?
But fuck that part, right?
Yeah, you know what really happened, bitch. She was trying to get in them Saitama cheeks, bitch. She knew what was up. Look, bro. We can play it off as much as you want to say that, oh, it's some deeper affiliation with like how she considers her own power and her confidence, all that. Look, the reality of the situation is this is the individual who she was dependent on. All of her dialogue is her talking shit or talking down to Saitama the entire time. Everything she does is about getting him to try to do something for her as a subordinate. There's nothing about being equal or even her being affiliated with the group as it were. It's still the new Fubuki group. Not even fucking Saitama's quarters or whatever. It's the new Fubuki group. So that's why I understand that. And like I said, there are elements of truth to that individual's perception of what occurred here. But I'm not going to pretend as if there isn't some sort of romance or some sort of romance being hinted to at least here. I'm not saying she's infatuated with Saitama. I'm saying that him saying this, as much as it disappointed her in the aspect of being part of the group, like friendship-wise in general, or like how they should feel about what they've gone through together, but that she kind of liked him. I think she want that caped dick, as it were.
I think the only thing that you could take from this in regards to it being more than what I was saying with her strength is just her being possibly hurt at her thinking that her and Saitama were friends and they're not. I don't see how you take away a romantic element from this.
Them titties is how, man. That's how. You telling
Man,
me?
you
telling
were
me
doing so well. You were doing so well. You ended your thoughts with the Cape D moment, and then, oh man, you almost went a full 5 minutes there.
You go ahead and say that. Why is there no romance here, according to Satsuki?
I mean, I'm not on the no romance train. I think maybe there is an element of romance. I don't know. My take on it initially was there's a difference in perception as to what their relationship is like. She obviously thought, in her pursuit of Saitama, they had acquired some sort of friendship. They were more than just acquaintances, which are just basically passers-by and they kind of say hi, and that's about it. She thought, having chilled with him, having been saved by him multiple times, having fought with him, all that good stuff, that they were friends and they were kind of, companions almost. Whereas Saitama, because all he really gets from her is requests to join her group, her constantly pestering him, his perception has been negative in the sense of he's just like, hey, just leave me alone. Your sister destroyed my house. You're destroying my life. Just leave me alone. So I think it's just a mismatch in their perceptions of each other. She thinks he's really strong. She respects him. And she's still kind of, I think, awestruck by what he can do and why he's kind of not recognized. So there's an element of awe, there's an element of kind of being inspired by him, but also that friendship element. Whereas he just sees her as kind of like, just leave me alone to my thing. And you're a bit of a pest.
She also knows the truth, or assumes the truth from last chapter.
Yeah.
Matt, Kishin.
I don't have much to add. I think Sundown and Satsuki have really nailed the points. I think, yeah, good stuff.
Same.
I want to add one more thing. Fubuki in general is very egotistical. So I think, not to say that she would react in the same way, but I think she would be taken aback by anybody saying who she's been talking to for, this amount of time would just call her an acquaintance because of how her ego works.
I could definitely see that. I could relate to it.
Two questions. When we found out, like, when there was a trait in the Fubuki group last time, does anyone remember how Fubuki reacted to that? Because I don't really remember, like, I don't remember anything because we've never really seen anyone, like, actually leave the Fubuki group. Everyone always joins it, but no one actually leaves it.
Didn't Glasses leave it?
That's true. They kind of, like, but we don't know what her opinion was on that. Whereas this guy was, like, a blatant, like, that was because they didn't want him in there. But this guy was, like, a blatant traitor. Like, do you remember what her reaction was to that?
I don't.
It was a girl. I thought it was a guy.
No, I'm asking what Fubuki's reaction was to that. Her reaction.
It was a dude.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Where is that?
But
moment?
I guess while Kishin looks at that, this is what will be the next step. Is I'm interested where Fubuki goes from here with Saitama, because like the words that I always remember from these two is like when he speaks to his like hero, who's someone who fights with. A lot of people are on their own. It doesn't matter who you're fighting with. It's about this. It's about standing up for it. I'll be interested to see how Fubuki goes from here, knowing that like Saitama's not necessarily like she might have like got comfortable with Saitama and understand that they don't have that relationship. How she goes forward now, if she's lost the confidence because she's been hanging around all these really strong guys, and she feels like she can't be part of these strong guys anymore. We'll see where that goes from here.
Check in 177 to see her reaction to it. They don't really show her reaction to it because Tatsumaki's reacting, being angry, having her her display of power. So they never really show Fubuki's reaction to the guy.
Okay.
Zooming in just to see her face in that panel.
That's fine.
She looks shocked.
That's okay. But I just wondered if there'd be like more of a reaction if it wasn't just like a Saitama thing, if like losing people who she considers somewhat close to her is like a deeper thing, not just like a Saitama.
I think personally, I want to put more of my coins, no homo, into if anybody can take that homo, into what Sasuke said about like the ego part. I think that's probably primarily what's going on there. I definitely think that on a smaller tone, like we pointed out, maybe it is the friendship there. Maybe it's the assumption that, I mean, look, we already pointed out several things there. We'll find out more as the story continues, and I think that I'm excited to see how Tatsumaki's gonna get involved here, because when people start to figure out how strong Saitama is, they start to show up more often. So does that mean that we're gonna get a casual Tatsumaki around Saitama's apartment now? Is she gonna pull a Fubuki in the next few arcs? That's what I'm kind of excited to see happen here, because it's already happened. We saw what Genos told Tatsumaki whenever he clapped Boros. Didn't believe him. We saw how she reacted whenever she saw Caped around whenever he shouldn't have been. And now, he's literally resisting her capabilities right to her face. Now, at the end of this very chapter, he hopped right through the Hero Association's headquarters and has her gripped. She's feeling, with her back and her titties up against his chest, how strong a motherfucker who can clap Jupiter, bitch. Clap Jupiter. Like, how do you...
He doesn't know about that.
Listen,
Nobody knows about
bro,
that.
Genos does. Genos knows about the
he's the
Jupiter
only
Buster. Now she's feeling a motherfucker who can bust Jupiter up against her chest, bro. So let's see how she reacts. Let's see what delusions, or what the term is, I believe, cognitive dissonance she comes up with to pretend that this is all a fluke. That's what I'm waiting for.
Do that. I mean, that was... Alright, go.
I was going to say, no, because I'm going to change it. I'm going to kind of change it. So go ahead, Matt.
I just want to say that face was everything. Just like when she's shaking him, and he's like, "Right, take it outside." Just her like, that's genuine shock on Tatsumaki if I've seen it. Like, just really taken aback. I just like that panel. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, like for us as well, it's a good indicator of like when's the last time somebody actually touched her that she didn't want touching her. It must have been like forever.
Me too, huh? Okay, I see you, Sundown.
Hey, we weren't going there.
I dead ass feel that there's nobody really been, in at least in their adulthood, that has been this close to Tatsumaki. Like people wouldn't dare to even get close to her like that.
But her sister hasn't even been that close to her. Not in a while.
Probably not.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Damn. That's what people were really talking about. What was going on here? That, and we've talked about Fubuki and how she feels about what Saitama said. But I definitely feel like Tatsumaki is actually going to be the one that falls for him. How is she going to react to it? I just pointed out that there's going to be some cognitive dissonance here. She's not going to believe what's going on. But like,
Do you think she's going to do that? Do you think... For me, I think Tatsumaki is the person that will reject everything until she experiences it and sees it with her own eyes. So now that she's experiencing it, seeing it with her own eyes, do you still think she's going to reject it?
there's some type of way. This is One Punch Man, bro. The motherfucker busted Jupiter and one said, "Nah, I can't. Nobody can know about this. We're gonna go back in time." like they will do whatever to not give Saitama credit, bro. Whatever. A whole stadium worth of motherfuckers watched him pop a fucking Deep Sea King, and they were like, "Oh, it's the other heroes weakened him up. That's what it was. Yeah. They softened him up. That's what it was." Like, you can only do so much, bro. You can only do so much.
The other point to make is, I guess, if you want to try, is like the two heroes she's probably closest with are Genos and King now, who are Saitama's best friends, really. So, like, if she's gonna trust anyone, if they both go, look, he's the real deal, then she might just be more willing to listen to stuff. I mean, saying that, they've literally just jumped through the Hero Association up into the sky. If she doesn't believe it at this point, I don't know what's gonna make her believe it, but
She's definitely going to go in her utility belt to test Saitama in a lot of different ways. I don't know how far this fight is going to go in terms of the destruction and how much effort she's going to put into it, but it's the whole thing of, it's stupid, but it is what it is. It's the whole thing of Saitama's rank not matching his power whatsoever, because her mindset is probably going to be, how's an A class person who was B class just a week ago this strong? How's he as strong as me? How is he stronger than me? I don't know if she's going to get to that point, but this is going to be a huge reality check. And like you said, with the whole cognitive dissonance, her mind is going to be warped from all of this, because I'm pretty sure in her mind, the only person that is stronger than her is Blast, and that's it.
You're muted.
We got a whole command out there. You type in cope. It's Yuhaba stopping Hashwall. Like, let him cope. Like, she gonna have to cope with it, bro. Like, listen, Tatsumaki's it was actually something interesting you mentioned there about how do you think the next interaction between Genos and Tatsumaki is going to go? Because that actually is a point that we haven't talked about. That's actually very important, because that's her growth. Her permitting Genos to assist her in battle with her growth on her part, and how she actually, her attitude towards him throughout the fight as well too. Like, it changed. She worked with Genos willingly. Like, what do you expect from the next interaction between Genos, King, and Tatsumaki? Because it's not as if like King really has like that much dialogue with Tatsumaki. He's like in the same Tsukuyomi or Genjutsu as everybody else is, just in love with King's perception and his reputation, which is really Saitama. And now she's actually going to encounter the individual who actually is caped. Caped is Saitama. Caped is King's reputation. So like, does this mean that she's going to start to disregard King whenever she notices that, like, King isn't doing is great. This is how one's gonna protect King's reputation or Saitama from the truth, or Tatsumaki from Saitama's truth, that King's gonna get even more accolades, in particular whenever Tatsumaki's around. Like, what are your opinions about the dynamic between Genos, Tatsumaki, and other characters?
I don't know when exactly they're going to interact, but that's an interesting point, though, how she would treat King if she were to, if her whole perception of reputation doesn't equate to power, and she sees it work in a positive way where Saitama is exceeding his reputation, then would she think of it in a negative way, as in your reputation means you might be weaker than what they say on paper? I don't know. I have no clue. But from what I expect of Saitama, because he does this routinely, he lectures people about what true heroes are, and knowing Tatsumaki, I don't think she would be receptive of that too much. So I don't know if her relationship with other people will change immediately, but I think it's going to be something that'll give her something to think about, reflect on, and it'll be progressive change. But I don't know. I don't know how she would react to those characters that you named, King, Genos, and all of them.
I only know Joe's gonna be very smug with her. I know they get on better, but it's like when anyone finds out about Saito, he's like, he put you in your place, didn't he? There's always that smugness about him where he's like, yeah, that's my sensei. He loves it. I don't know about King though. Because King's not really ever talked about Saitama being the real deal either. Like Saitama's okay with that. That's fine. But I wonder, just in general, like, is King gonna have to come out at some? I feel like he's gonna have to come out at some point and be like, I don't do this. This isn't me. This is all him. Anything you think I've done, that's him. Some point in the future, I feel like that's gonna happen.
But who do you think? Do you think he'll say that to a person, or he'll say that to the public?
I think it'll be like a public thing. Because I think just the public don't like Saitama as it is. So I think just as the story progresses, this will, in my head at least, like, things are going to keep going.
We need there to be a separate resolution for that. It can't be affiliated with what King's resolution is. It's got to be like, because there's too much weight behind it. I like the fact that people are starting to resent Saitama. Like, whenever those rumors were passing around that he's stealing feats and shit like that was an obstacle for his reputation. Like, I wanted that. I don't want him to just keep climbing up the ladder without restriction, just people noticing his power. No, I want something to, like, stop that progress. Like, I pointed out as like a goddamn moment, but that's a really good twist. We don't really see it like that in most manga or in most shonen, in stories that we've seen in general. Like, they try to give the main character his due as much as possible, and it happens slowly or bit by bit. But here, they literally were like, nah, he didn't have a feat. It was a feat from somebody else that he stole. Like, he didn't kill Deep Sea. He softened everybody else up. I think the potential for that to continue to blow up and grow is strong. I don't know which direction it could go, but I don't want it to be resolved in a case where King admits that, oh, all these accolades are not his, and then people start to acknowledge, oh, they were Saitama's? Oh, okay, great Saitama. No. I want it to be that despite everything that King has done and all the accolades that King will keep, that Saitama is still the best and strongest hero recognized by everybody else. That, as we're seeing, the heroes themselves praise Saitama.
So, like, to summarize what you're saying, you want Saitama to earn the accolades and respect of everybody while still exposing King, basically.
Yeah, King doesn't need to be exposed. I honestly like that. King doesn't need to be exposed for Saitama to get his cred, and I actually don't mind if King keeps all the cred that he has so far. I think I need King to be this credible, to have this reputation amongst the series. If not, what else does the character have? Like, this is the hype around the character. The reason why this was like such a catch-all, why it's so popular, why it works, is that like when I got into the series, when I started making videos and really started diving into the One Punch Man community, the King gag was universal, bro. Like, you couldn't go anywhere without motherfuckers hyping up King. Like, legit, people who start reading One Punch Man, at least at the time period, because the sources that you could find the chapters from were all jumbled and mixed up, where you'd read this and you read it there. The chapter numbers were all mixed up too. Like, it was hard to follow along One Punch Man at a certain time period. Motherfuckers didn't know what was going on. We're getting tricked that King was actually Cog Diesel. That King was actually competition for Saitama, and he was actually one of the strongest individuals out there. Like, that was going around. You could easily, by not knowing what's going on, be convinced that King is that strong. And I love that. To get rid of it for the truth, fuck it.
Yeah, I don't personally believe that King will ever come out and say, "Nah, it wasn't me." Maybe there'll be an element of probably Saitama climbing and then King being allowed to kind of sit back, maybe retire. Maybe that's an option for him if he wants to, because then he could kind of say, "Yeah, I retire my position in the S class for this up and coming capability." And with Genos, yeah, I think Matt hit the nail on the head. Really, I think Genos is just going to be smug as hell when he sees Tatsumaki, and it really depends on how Saitama handles the next chapter or two and what he does. So if he makes up his mind to like just decimate Tatsumaki, then Genos will be like complete 100 out of 100 smugness. But I don't think Saitama is going to go down the route of just like bodying Tatsumaki. I don't think that's what he's going to do. I think it's going to be a lot of just what he's been doing anyway, which is just tanking her attacks and just kind of talking to her until she kind of tuckers herself out or just can't be bothered to attack him anymore. So I think more than anything, she'll probably go to Genos and try and inquire further as to why Saitama is as strong as he is. And Genos will just probably be like, "I don't even know myself. He said he did 100 squats one day, 100 press-ups. He ran like 10K, was it? And yeah, obviously no AC as well in it. But yeah, so maybe I think that's what she'll do. She'll probably ask him like, how did he get like this? Maybe she'll ask King. I don't think she has that relationship there though. Her relationship to King is more kind of like, you know, senior, someone she respects. She wouldn't go to him to ask a question, I don't think.
You think there'll be an element of like submissiveness with like Tatsumaki and Saitama? Because like, don't get me wrong, it was, bro, I understand this shit, bro. Like, yeah, she was surprised that he's doing this, that he's this strong, but like the panel difference of her face, bro, from when Saitama first like grabs her by the back and pushes her up against him, to when like you see the neatly drawn out Niku on the top of the shirt, her looking at him like with them titties pressed up against his chest, like that's a different expression. That's not like complete surprise. That's like she's feeling something she hasn't felt before. Does she like being manhandled, bro?
Why are you so obsessed with the romance? Every other question, you've come back to the romance. Like,
bro,
there doesn't need to be romance, mate. It's fine.
So in a year and a half, or in 2 years, when there's actually a romance plot between Tatsumaki and Saitama, are you guys gonna buy my trip, my plane ticket to England?
No. You buy your own ticket.
What?
Get your own ass over here, man. I just told you it was a quarter of the price you thought it was. Actually, an eighth of the price you thought it was. You get your ass over here, man. Your PC done cost you more than the freaking ticket, bro.
Bro. Oh, man. She's like, fine, bro. Y'all just want to pretend this isn't gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
No. You know what? Hold on. What I love about Grimm is he keeps talking about the romance and how is brewing between these characters, but you know what he never talks about? How Saitama actually feels about these characters. Saitama don't give a fuck about Fubuki, and he damn sure don't like Tatsumaki. He thinks Tatsumaki looks like a child.
Bro.
He doesn't like her.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, who is this child?
Yeah, bro. All main characters play that nonchalant, like uninterested trope shit.
It's
bro.
nonchalant and there's thinking there's a woman as a child, mate. There's a difference.
When did he say he thought she was a child?
When he went to the Hero Association.
Very first time they met, she's like shouting out to get out the C-class trash, and he goes, "Who's this sassy lost child?"
That's almost stupid, bro.
Their personalities definitely don't mesh. Like Fubuki and Saitama, maybe, but definitely not Tatsumaki and Saitama.
If he had
No
to have
way.
a romance, there's a part of me that love it if it's just no one to do with the Hero Association. It's just some girl who works in an office in a different city, and like
Yes,
you just meet her in the
cashier.
epilogue. You're like, this is his girlfriend. You're like, oh, cool, okay, and that's it.
The cashier at the
random
grocery store.
cashier.
Yeah, that he gets his groceries from.
Get
Yeah.
some deals.
Damn,
Yeah.
bro.
Like, would
Shit.
absolutely go out with a girl just to get the deals. The discount at the grocery store, 100%.
Damn, bro. Shit. I mean, listen. Tatsumaki could just take it, bro. Saitama don't gotta be one. She could just take it, bro. Saitama could be sitting there doing his grocery shopping, and then out of nowhere, like,
What? She's grinding pepper on his salad or something?
like this some force type shit, bro. He don't got a choice. But no, that's definitely a factor. You're right in the romance thing that definitely has to have a catalyst. But I don't know. We don't get that much from Saitama in general. Like he's more of a just chill, trying to go out about his day, not be annoyed type shit. So maybe it's not like he would turn down romance. Like if we saw some like baddie down the street, maybe he would react. We just haven't seen him do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like usually you don't kind of give the thumbs up to someone who may have destroyed your house. But you know, I suppose in Grimm's world, there may still be a chance.
Oh shit, bro! I'm telling you.
But
dog.
are we not going to talk about the fact that Tatsumaki may even be testing Saitama to see if he could be the guard dog for Fubuki?
That's okay. Yes. The answer is yes. Most likely that's actually what's going on. But I still I want it to be that she's testing him for her so that she'll sneakily start to gain more affection for him and then fall for him. But yes, that's probably what's actually going on. She's tired of these weaklings being around and responsible for Fubuki. And now there's finally going to be someone that can protect her. Like, her sister literally got poisoned. Like, she wasn't screaming. I thought that it was casual and she was joking around about, like, basically killing them. Or, like, telling them to get the hell out of here. But, like, no. If this was, like, some regular C-class, she would have killed him a long time ago. She did try to kill the Tsukuyomi dude. Like, Tatsumaki ain't playing. She's dirty with it. She's trying to kill these people. Like, so yes, that's exactly what's going on now. She's going to proceed to test his abilities and test how strong he is so that she could deem him the right match or somebody worthy of being Fubuki's person who he's so interested in. Well, how does she describe it as? Hold on, let me see.
Someone hanging all over Fubuki.
Yeah, exactly. Someone hanging all over Fubuki or whatever. Like, you gonna hang around my sister, you better be cock diesel. Well, it's just caped, so let's see.
I want to ask a question, just change the subject a bit. So, we have had a lot of focus the last few chapters on these rich members of society who living in the Hero Association, donating the money, and there's been a lot of focus on Hero Association not necessarily being the safest place because earthquakes and Saitama and obviously this fight that's about to happen now as well. What do you think is gonna happen next with the upper class society? Are they gonna? Do you think they're all just gonna like abandon the Hero Association, or is something else gonna happen with them?
You know what? I'm really hoping for. I feel like we've seen this in other media, but I'm kind of really hoping for, because what we're getting now is huge monster incident just went down with the Monster Association. We had Sayorochi, we had Orochi, and we had all the kind of dragon level monsters. And that's what everyone was afraid of. Will these monsters come and clap us? All that good stuff. And through the different S-class heroes, Saitama, all that good stuff, saving them from Garou, they managed to make it through. So then the richer people within society, all the wealthy guys, thought, okay, let's live within the Hero Association in the kind of hero protected zones where even the S-class will be there. The top A-class people will be there to save us from anything. And even natural disasters most likely won't touch us because it's been built by Metal Knight and Dr. Bofoy. So what I want to see is what happens when their definition of monster changes. When it's the heroes themselves they start describing as the monsters. So Tatsumaki, for instance, is someone who's very volatile. And if she's powerful enough and capable enough to actually tear down the association, which she pretty much was doing in this chapter, will they turn on her? Will they say, "Nah, we're not living somewhere with her there, and we don't want her in the association"? What happens when the stakeholders of the association say, "These people are actually deemed dangerous. We don't want them here"?
I mean, we saw that it's already being weaponized, that the term monster is weaponized by the association. The executives mentioned that they deemed Psychos a monster, and that's why you can do whatever you want with her now because she's no longer human. She's lost her human rights. So that's already being weaponized. We're already going to be seeing that. But in reference, I think it's more of a power struggle between the influence and the funding of the executives versus the actual reliability and what comes down to what the purpose of the association is. If funds and revenue are primarily for the heroes, to allow that function to exist for the protection of individuals, then you cannot afford to lose the heroes. Yes, there are many of them, but it's still a problem. Maybe this is even something that could coincide with what the theory that you were talking about, that they're going to be making heroes so that they can disregard individuals who cause a problem. But as far as we can tell, Tatsumaki isn't causing problems. She doesn't cost money. She has an apartment or whatever. Like, of course, I'm assuming that they pay them, but like, she doesn't cause problems. Remember Tatsumaki's day off? She's a workaholic. Like, she loves fighting and taking care of these monsters. She's dependable. She's not only crazy strong, but she's also dependable. She's like an actual secret ultimate weapon that you can rely upon. Not like Blast, who's a secret weapon who you can't depend upon. Or like in sports where you have a great player who's not going to show up and play great every single game. He's sporadic. No, this is a consistent, powerful threat. She leads and is the face of the association, as it were. When it comes down to it, I think the narrator described it. The narrator described it for the association. When it comes down to it, they rely on Tatsumaki, nobody else. So, to me, the question is, how important is the funding for that? Because did they pay Bofoy to make this base? Is that why he made it? Because he got paid that much money? If not, then the thing that's protecting them, one of their greatest assets, didn't come from their funding. So where is the funding going? Is it going straight into their pockets? That's why they're so worried about it? Like, is it really going... Like, once we confirm that, if Bofoy requires funding from the association in order to make all these things, if they're paying for it, that's different. Okay, I understand that. Then, yeah, you should probably consider your funding versus the asset that is Tatsumaki. But if not, we have to quantify where the funding's going and what it's actually doing. Because these... Are we saying that the heroes' salaries are being paid by the funding? Sure. That's sensible. Okay. They're not going to work if you don't pay them? Okay. I could see that. There isn't that much of a strong element of that concept, but like, I don't know how far it would go. I would need to see more happen. I definitely agree with Matt that there's going to be some negative consequences to like, or some repercussions to this fight that's going on here, to the failed aspects of Bofoy's system and how they're failing to compete, or even not necessarily completely because it's still standing build. It's a standing building, but like what the reactions are to Bofoy's design. Like, is his reputation going to go down from this?
I think you also just made another incredibly good point there, Grimm. It's like you reiterate the fact that Tatsumaki is number one, the reliable one in the Hero Association. She is like, when everyone else fails, she's still standing. she is about to fight Saitama. To we don't degree, we don't know. But if it is a fight, we know she's going to lose. How's that going to go for the Hero Association's reputation when we obviously don't know like what's going to happen in the fight? But if people start seeing Tatsumaki lose a fight, like if the public widely see her lose, not necessarily they might going to see Saitama because as we know, One Punch Man likes to hide Saitama, so they might even if it's just like Tatsumaki's like very clearly lost a fight somewhere. How's that going to affect the Hero Association representation when their number one reliability, like their number one source of, like not number one source of income, but their number one source of what's the word? I guess reliability, sure, isn't there anymore. The public are gonna like, especially these rich people, they're gonna be like, well, if Tatsumaki can't even save us all the time, what's the point in the Hero Association?
I want to go against that point because it's caped. It's another hero, so a strike up against the reputation. I would have to see how that happened, how that played out. Secondly, I don't think the fight's gonna go or be portrayed to an extent to where people are gonna have a chance to see Tatsumaki get defeated. I don't think it'll be that clear. Like I think Sundown mentioned earlier, that this bout shouldn't necessarily involve Tatsumaki getting hurt. That being said, I don't know, bro. Like, first you would have to give me an example of how people would see Tatsumaki lose, how she would lose, and then I would have a better sense of how it could play out. But right now, I'm not seeing, at least from the context of what we've gotten, how anybody's going to see Tatsumaki lose this fight. We know she's going to lose. I just don't know. I'm more along the lines of what I think it was Sundown or Satsuki said, that there's going to be testing going on here. She's testing to see if this guy's valid to be hanging around her sister. So how extensive is this test?
Well, the honest answer is I don't know. But because you just put that point that there was like in the last arc where there was such an emphasis of like she's the one woman who stands like at the top, the pinnacle. That there's always, just because these doubts already starting to show in the Hero Association. If Tatsumaki is shown fair as well, don't know how. Could Jane just be like someone gets a snapshot of like the fight and you don't even see Saitama, but it's just a clear shot of like Tatsumaki like beaten, like she's bloody or something like that. Or maybe it is clear. We obviously don't know where this fight's going to go. Like if it stays in ACE, it just might be like security footage that gets leaked. I don't have an actual answer, is the honest thing. But I'm just saying, I think it'd be interesting if it went that way, where people are starting to pull out fast from the Hero Association this arc, because Mao Knight's building isn't lasting. Tatsumaki's not holding up. Like the Hero Association aren't keeping to what they're supposed to do, which is protect us. They can't do that anymore. Because like you said earlier, there's a lot of monsters out there, and maybe the Hero Association can't keep up.
I think with this Tatsumaki versus Saitama fight, I think it's going to be separate as far as like how you guys are saying that this fight may affect the Hero Association's reputation. I think the Heroes Association reputation is already going to tank, and it already happened because of Tatsumaki breaking into the base, because there's going to be witnesses that seen her do this. She threatened to kill people. And we know the Tsukiyomi guy is involved with the Hero Association in some way, shape, or form. That's why he had authorization to get in there in the first place. And they saved an S-class criminal. So their reputation is going to tank no matter what. Now, is that going to be in a public's eye? We're not entirely sure. But regardless, there's going to be a lot of bad publicity on Tatsumaki and the Hero Association. I think the fight is just going to be purely, the impact is going to be seen through Tatsumaki's character, because like I said, I think Saitama is going to do a lot of preaching, a lot of lecturing towards Tatsumaki, and what we're supposed to get from that fight, I don't think it's going to be necessarily like the Hero Association learn anything about Tatsumaki's defeat, because I think how the fight will end up is just Tatsumaki running out of excuses as to why Saitama is able to, keep up with her and endure everything she throws at him. So yeah, it'll just be a big shot to her ego. That's how I see it.
No, I think you had you hit on something hard there or good there, Nomo. That I think this is gonna be like a hit or ammo for the executives. If anybody's gonna be complaining, or if she's gonna lose leverage, or if anybody's gonna be taking a reputative hit, it's gonna be the association, as you pointed out. But it's gonna be pressure from the executives. They're the ones, as you pointed out, who saw this, who took a snapshot. The executives who were there, the executives, like they're the ones who know exactly what's going on. They're the ones who now have a strained relationship with Tsukuyomi because their client, a very rich client, had his asset stolen from him by these very same people, was attacked and manhandled by these very same people, the people you're doing business with. Like, the executives are gonna have a problem with this. They're the ones who are going to cause an issue in reference to Sitch and his relationship with Tatsumaki and the relationship Tatsumaki has with the association in general and that dynamic. Because, for example, I don't think there's anything Blast could do to lose his status or his relationship with the association. It's always going to be like, no matter what Blast does, he's just going to be out there doing his thing, and then whenever we need him for real, he'll come up because we trust him. And Sitch set it up that way. But what if Sitch loses leverage? What if Sitch becomes indisposed? Like, does that mean that the executives are going to be, like, taking control? And that's one thing that we haven't really thought about. But, like, if we're talking about people taking a hit, a reputative hit, and how it's going to change the stance of the association and heroes, then that's how I see it. I think Sitch is in danger because of this. And I think that, as you pointed out, the association in general may lose credibility. Maybe people leave the headquarters.
Do we think Metal Knight's going to be called in to be questioned, or kind of to be held accountable for his new ass building, his new ass city shaking at the core? Because I think he's the only one that has the footage. Well, he wasn't the only one, but he had footage of Saitama kicking the crap out of his cyborgs. Well, not even his cyborgs, his robots, right? So yeah. I'd love to see if he was called in, kind of held to account. Would he be like, "Hey, you got someone here who I don't think you know the full power of"?
I think that's probably going to be the most interesting part. Because you think about it, he has full control over this building. You can very well see that being a possibility. So it's like, what do you mean my building is flawed? And then he's just got robots in the walls that are repairing everything. Nothing happened. All the footage has been deleted. I control the cameras. He's going to lock that shit down that he got Saitama on film for, so you know he isn't going to make himself look bad. He makes too much money from the heroes.
Bullfoy is going to get a better grasp of Saitama's powers with this. If he's, as you pointed out, surveilling what's going on, there's no reason why he wouldn't be aware of what's going on right here. And he's fucking dirty for making all these facilities. He knows exactly what's going on. That means that, yeah, he's going to see how strong Cape is.
Quick question. Bang is the ranked third, right?
Was.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's
yeah.
So we're gonna have potentially our top 4 hero, or of course with the exception of Blast, take a big hit in their reputation in one fell swoop.
Who?
Because Bang is retiring.
Mm-hmm.
Tatsumaki did what she did in public view, and then wait, is Metal Knight 4?
No.
Child
No.
Emperor.
Niggas atomic, bitch. Top 4 ain't take no hit. Top 4 ain't take no hit, bitch. We out there with big feats, bitch. Big feats,
5, right?
Metal Knight's 7 or 8.
Yeah, bruh. That lowly ass hero.
Yeah.
Nigga gets caped after Bang. Or my fault. It's
I don't even want to look. I don't even want to look that up.
Atomic
I feel like I'm gonna get spoiled.
Child. Is
Yeah,
Flashy 6?
Flashy's 7.
No.
No. Flashy's 11. Flashy's 11.
What is Metal Knight?
He is number 6.
No, let's
Okay,
see.
number 6. Okay. Okay.
What are the rankings?
Either,
Could you read that to us?
Okay, it goes Blast, Tatsumaki. Number 3 is not listed anymore because Bang retired. Then we have
You already know. You already know who's next, bitch.
then Metal Knight. What?
Well, to be fair, we don't know if the rankings are going to change after the Hero Association.
You're right. Atomic gonna be number 3 next, bitch. You already know that.
I mean,
You already know that.
No, wait,
It'll be
King's,
-3.
King's number 7. Okay, right. Sorry, you tell us.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay.
That lucky number 7 because all that bullshit he gets to pull off.
But it's still it's still like applicable. Like our number 6 hero, our number 2 hero, and our number 3 hero, for whatever reason, are going to look a little bad. Bang
Number 11
less
too.
so because he's retired, but still, it's
Yeah.
not a good look.
The number 11 slot as well is also looking bad.
We don't know what you're talking about.
He been looking bad,
No,
so don't even.
Yeah, number 11 been looking bad for a while, bro. Shit.
I didn't realize you like flashy like that, mate. Damn,
What do you-
fair play.
What do you mean? He is number 11.
You mean if he looks bad, that's okay.
No, he's been looking bad for a while.
Okay.
Because number 11 is Darkshine, by the way.
Oh, he's 13.
is
13.
Flasher.
Look at that. He ain't even 11.
Like, let's not change that. Darkshine's not looking great.
He's looking bad
Well,
too.
that's why I agreed because I was like, yes, it's very true. Sure, he's trying to make a comeback, but his last showing was not a good showing.
Nah, it was not. It was not.
Hey, look. Need I remind you that Darkshine is actually doing blackface?
You don't gotta remind me. It's sticking my
Hey,
head.
Satsuki knows, man.
It's not even right.
He an Asian dude, remember?
I completely forgot.
All they got to do is look at his family photos and be like, Mr. Darkshine, we got some questions. What is that? Apparently you're being called in for a hate crime?
Oh,
What's this all about?
He's dark skin. That's it. Dark skin.
It's like, oh shit, they found me, and he just busts through the wall. It's like, they'll never catch me. It's like, we're on the 80th floor, you idiot. I'm glad he's indestructible. We'll be able to still sue his ass. He going to jail.
All right, boys. So that was chapter 178. We don't necessarily think that Tatsumaki is going to have much success up against Saitama, but it'll definitely be a test. What it's a test for? It's contested, heavily contested, but it's for you to give the opinion of. Shout out to Sam Fam Drizzy. Shout out to Ferds. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Black 45, excuse me. And shout out to Giovanni for coming through in the chat. If you guys want to support the channel, you guys can just comment in the comment section below, or we'll respond, or we'll check out your comments to try and converse with you. We have a lot of different content on the channel, in particular about One Punch Man, so check that out. We have a bunch of different varieties of content that we do regularly. There are other channels as well where you can see and find content as well as reactions for the chapters that come out routinely. All these guys have channels, and their links are in their description. Subscribe, like the video, and in the comment section, Saitama and Fubuki or Saitama and Tatsumaki, like, and let's pretending about Saitama not being in love or not wanting to do it. That's that. Let me not even use that word so we don't get demonetized. That's non-hetero, bitch. Like, of course Saitama finna clap. Of course he's trying to get in them cheeks, bitch. Yes, he would. Let's stop pretending about it. Gosh. Yo!